Conditions on the Ley today. It's a fairly good day. Fairly good day. Yeah. I'm beginning the walk at Mells anyway. Let's get going. So today I'm leaving Wells and I'm about to weave my way to Vobster, which sounds like a seafood village. It's actually a miner's hamlet. That's what it said. There's not much there, if I'm honest. Then I'm moving my way to Coleford, and again there's a little church there where the ley line goes through, and then I'll be making my way to Stoke St Michael. Yes, a place with St Michael on it. And in particular, this leg of the journey is all about dowsing, and sufficient evidence now to start drawing some conclusions and investigation. So I'll be focusing on dowsing on this particular walk today, or at least my attempt. And today's walk is 5.12 miles and it should take 2 hours 33. I'm 3/4 of a mile in. Let's keep going. Ooh, bit of blue sky appearing, makes a change. Whilst Mells is an absolutely lovely place and it's got a great pub, really nice food, the whole area is synonymous, said that well, with mining and quarrying in particular. And there's so many quarries around here, it's unbelievable. And actually, that's really where the story begins today and why I'm looking at dowsing in particular, because as I did my investigations, turns out that dowsing was predominantly used to look at where to find seams of metals and ores in the old mining days, and they employed dowsers. I wish they'd employed it in this bloody footpath. Great, muddy start. The last piece of admin of the day is synchronicities. Well, after reading a bit of Carl Jung and his theories into synchronicities, he also went on to talk about recording dreams. So between the last walk and this walk, I'd be recording my dreams. Now that's a bit freaky. You want to try it? All sorts comes up out of that. I'm trying to convey if I've had any synchronicities whilst on the walk or even on the ley line or the energy line. I've been dressed up as a cowboy. That's unusual. Last night I was driving a flimsy Fiat car that was red and it kept falling apart. And then a friend of mine working in a cafe making bitterballen. I've also got the last song I was listening to on Spotify, Tomorrow Never Knows by Rosetta Stone. Anyway, not sure if it'll all work, but there's no other way of conveying whether I have a reasonable synchronicity or not. Not had any so far, although I've only been walking for 5 minutes, so. Well, the walk's quite challenging, very thick with mud everywhere and very slippy stones. All these creeks and crevices around here is, I think, to do with the mining historically. But I think I'm about to drop into Vobster right now, just over the brow of this hill. And there I'll have a quick stop and possibly a douse. So I'm at Vobster Cross. Now, when they were putting some buildings around here, they did do excavations, because Vobster Cross, I think, is some kind of, again, Neolithic area of where there's interest, and they found some relics of various bits and pieces. I mean, that mound in itself with the trees there, that little thing, it's very unusual. So what I thought I'd do is, looking on the map here, is we're just coming into Vobster in this corner, and I've drawn an orange line on with a very heavy felt tip marker. It's dry wipe, it'll wipe off. And what I thought I'd do is, there is no indications, and there are different locations of the St Michael line running in this field, or in the surrounding area at least. It may be some kind of sacred site. So I thought I'll spend 10 minutes and see if I could just find an energy line. And you never know, it might be the St Michael one. So let's crack on. So here's what I've found. Well, anyway, I'll just show you with the rods. At this point, I'm seeing and feeling definite rod mover, rod activity. Now, the skeptic in me is, one, I don't know where the St Michael line is in this field or the surrounding area. I have felt the rods move in various places, but in this particular place here, I have noticed, and there is actually a feature. So I don't know whether that feature interferes with the dowsing, or that is where the line runs through. And it's a big long line. It looks like an old trackway, but it's part of that Vobster Cross thing. But it does run in the right direction and approximately where the St Michael line is. So at the end of Vobster Cross, where I think, which is that there, and everything containing in it is Vobster Cross, I can find the line. See, the thing is with dowsing, something called, I want to say idiot moto effect, but it's not, it's idea moto effect, which I think is Greek or something. And that's a translation of your unconscious mind working in conjunction with the rods. But that is the whole point of dowsing. That's what you're actually trying to do. Almost conflicts with itself in some ways. Ooh, that blue sky's getting nearer. Make up for this shit. Pub's not open yet. This is only 9:30, 10. There's a church there that hasn't come up on my map. How bizarre. Vobster and Mells in particular were mining towns back about 100 and 200 years ago, and as which it was also a place where free miners could go. So that was where you weren't working for a business and you could go and just start digging and quarrying and working for yourself. And pretty often they used their own dowsing to go and find seams of metals. I think there was like lead, zinc, and all those wonderful things that are nothing to do with Alzheimer's. I mean, what? I can't remember. Vobster also has probably one of the leading Vobster key, and it's where one of the quarries has been turned into a diving centre. And they've sunk a Sea King helicopter in there to go in, with various cars and things like that sunken in there for divers to go and practice in. So yeah, the history of this area lends itself to dowsing back in the day. I'm leaving Vobster now. It wasn't really an artefact. Well, the Vobster cross was an artefact, so I'll count that. No synchronicities so far. And dowsing certainly felt something. The St Michael's and St Mary line actually represented by a serpent, very much looking like here. Lovely. Anyway, it's slippy as shit and muddy. Good job I've got my stick today. There's fallen trees. This is slow going. I'm not going to complain about the conditions, not while the sun's out anyway. It is slow going. Coleford and the Holy Trinity Church. The line runs straight through here. Let's go and have a look. Doesn't look like you can go in. It's a bit of a shame. I'll stop and do a bit of dowsing. I need to take a drink. Starting to become a thing, this, isn't it? Walking through graveyards. Right, let's have a quick break. A little bit of sustenance, I think. So I've just had my sustenance and done a bit of resonant grounding there. Just thought I'd take a few minutes. And it's very peaceful here, that's good. So this is the Holy Trinity Church in Coleford. Not really much going on here, if I'm honest. 19th century church, so it's really new. Apparently this site is much older than the 19th century. Coleford itself was historically a major centre for free miners. They were independent miners who had those special rights to extract materials. There's an old tale about a miner who supposedly followed his dowsing rods and ended up discovering a hidden chamber beneath the village, though no one knows where it is today. I think that's bullshit. But the church is said to have been relocated from an earlier sacred site, perhaps to lie on the line. Again, I haven't got a source for that, so there was very little information about Coleford, if I'm honest. Makes it even more mysterious for me. But I will have a douse, and I'll do it not in the graveyard because I'm actually, there's a nice little field there behind me. That's an awkward angle, isn't it, for that thing sticking out my head? Anyway, I'll do some dowsing there. Right here, just in that bin, it's just to the side of the church, directly right through the middle. It's almost about there, just off centre. I'm pretty tickled by it all. Right. Live dog shit grenade. I don't know if anybody's seen this before. Yeah, they're all over. Circling shits along the walk. Dog shit vigilante. Coming to your village soon. Good pastime, innit? This is nice. I have no idea where I am. Took my eye off the ball, and not for the first time. I could be lost. Just over halfway, well actually more than halfway now. 1.75 miles to go. One of the footpaths was closed because of a unsafe bridge. I'm going to take my chances. My arrival at the unsafe bridge. Looks safe to me. Oh yeah, it is hanging off on that end. In my research, I've been talking about dowsing. Met somebody the other day whose wife works for the water company and informs me that they still employ dowsers. And that's not uncommon across all the water companies. But anyway, the point is that it is common. They just don't mention it. But yet they put a degree of trust in it when the equipment isn't satisfactorily finding a water leak or a water source. And taking that further, there was a guy in Bath, John Mullins, waterworks engineers in Bath, were employed by Axbridge Rural District Council. They found a site on the council's own land and they promised to yield a minimum of 50,000 gallons a day at a cost of £500. Later, when the spring was tapped, it actually delivered 150,000 gallons of water. And it was a well-established company operating across Somerset, dowsing and finding water sources. So there you go. Finally coming into Stoke St Michael. It's taken 2 hours 47, a little bit longer than anticipated. And I did it, and it was 6 miles, you know. The original name for the village was Tad Hill, translates to Toad Hill, which suggests there's an old connection to folklore. Some claim the area was associated with ancient fertility. That's what she said. And rituals linked to amphibians. God knows what that means. The church is often built on a high point and it's believed to have some significance. Well, they all do, don't they? Let's go and sit inside and review the day. Okay, well, as an artifact, it's all right. Certainly from my point of view, there is evidence of something for dowsability for sure. Again, whether you want to say that that's because I know or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. That's certainly something there. Still no synchronicities, so it doesn't look like I've had any synchronicities today. Not experienced anything there. Resonant grounding here at St Michael's. Not feeling it. I'll add it all up, all the scores for artifacts, resonant grounding, dowsability, the walk itself, and synchronicities, and put them all in the Leydex scoring at the end of the video. But until next time, find a way and get on a lay. Yeah, I don't know what's the best outro.